Hi, I'm Josh Hockman, Park Industries Customer Service Department. On this video, we are going to show you how to reference the Z-axis on a Titan 3K or 4K. So to start out with here, you want to go to your screen and log in as a supervisor or higher. Then you'll navigate to your Setup tab and your Limits tab. On here now, on the Titan 4K, you can see we do have a reset to default values button. If you're on a 3K, you are going to want to record your values first because we do need to change these values, and then you want to put that value back to what it was defaulted as when you are done here. On the 4K, you'll be able to just press the restore to default button, and that will automatically restore them values back. So we're on the Z-axis, and you reference your Z-axis at the top of your travel limit. So depending on how far you need to move, you can put an inch or 2 inches. I'm going to just put 20 inches here, so I know I have my full travel. Then we'll take our pendant. We'll make sure we disable our spindle. We'll go to our Z-axis, and we are just going to select 1 thou increments. Now, your limits are not set, so you can crash your machine if you travel too fast. Be sure to take it slow. We don't want any damage to happen there. So then, once you have that set, we're going to go to our diagnostics page. And in this case, we're going to look at our Z reference prox limit here. On this machine, it is I40.5. It is lit up green. That means we are not resting on our prox limit right now. So take our pendant, drive on 1 thou increments, and we're slowly going to drive that Z-axis up until this green dot turns red. As long as your values are in there, you can see that I'm on the Z-axis. I have a jog increment value. It is driving. It's hard to see because it is only moving 1 thou at a time. But I'm just going to slowly move up, and I'm just watching closely at that dot until that turns red. So right there, you can see that that input turned red. Now I'm gonna keep holding my pendant and stay on 1 thou increments. I'm gonna very slowly drive back down until it turns green. I wanna make sure, this is the important part, making sure I stop as soon as that turns green. So just doing 1 slow click at a time and just giving it a second between to make sure that I don't travel too far down here. So right there, that turned green. Now I want to drive my machine down another 50 thousandths down. So I'm going to stay on my Z-axis here, you can see, and I'm going to change that to 10 thou increments. And I'm going to just give it 5 clicks on the pendant to drive it 50 thousandths. And I am going 5 clicks in the downward motion. Once that's set, your travel is all set here. And we'll come back to our Setup tab and our Offsets tab. And right here then, I can capture my Z position. So just hit capture here, and it does want you to cycle power before it will take effect. So we will hit yes, and I'm just going to move over quick to my limits and restore that to default. And now we'll be able to exit out of our program. I would let it take the backup of the machine for that new position. Let it do its backup here. So we'll hit yes to that. So it backs up everything. And then we will power down for a minute or two and power back up. Okay, now that we cycled power and our screen is back up, we're gonna make sure we log in as a supervisor or higher, would be the first thing. Then we will come back to our setup tab. And if you did not do it before, press the restore to default button to make sure that your spindle cannot over travel and crash the machine. So now that the Z height is set, your next step would be is to come to the tool rack screen and make sure, so it'd be setup and tool rack, make sure that you check your Z height for your tool rack pockets. That if you do need some assistance with that, we do have a video on it, but pretty much you're driving it in, using a dial indicator, make sure you're centered, and you'll capture your Z height. After you do that, then you want to come to your limits, or your offset screen, sorry, and you're gonna wanna check your spindle to work surface height. Now you can use their table height tool and touch it off on your table, and that'll get you relatively close there. We do have a video on that also that will show you how to do that. But then to fine tune that Z height into your table, you'll want to run an edge that has an encapsulating tool, and you can stop the machine right before it gets to the material, just like when you're setting up a new tool, and see if you need to move that Z height up or down. Once you're getting close, you can run that edge, double check that edge, and see if you need to move up and down. If you do need to move up and down, we'll be adjusting the spindle to work surface height. Adjust that number, and what that'll do is fine tune your tools in and get your tools running. If you get that tool right where it should be, it'll get all your tools running right where they would be. So you don't have to do an adjustment on every tool that you have programmed. After that is set up, you should be good to go here. As always, if you have any questions, please give our customer service department a call, and we'd be glad to help. Thank you.